Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our annual Water Communion service, celebrating water and its importance in our lives and celebrating our community as we near the end of summer. I'm Benji Messer, music director. I use he, him pronouns. Let's open with the traditional U.S. hymn, Down in the River to Pray. Our choir will start it with soloist Peter Jackson. Peter, go ahead and stand. We're just going to get started here. And then in just a moment, I'll invite you all to stand and sing along with us.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who will wear the starry crown, Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, won't you come on down? Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, won't you come on down? Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, won't you come on down? Oh, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, neighbors, let's go down, won't you come on down? Oh, neighbors, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, who shall wear the starry crown, good Lord, show me the way.
Good morning. We gather together this morning tenderly, like gathered raindrops in a cloud gleefully, like water rushing in a stream to the sea so very deeply, like groundwater pulled up from a well, like drops of dew on a leaf of grass, hopefully.
We gathered from every direction for another year of growth and depth, another year of companionship and hope, another year of learning to love this world.
We gather in from a summer full of climate emergencies, from drought to flood, from wildfire to hurricane, and we humble ourselves before the power of the elements.
We gather because we need each other to survive. We gather because it is only in gathering that we find solace and hope and a path forward as tender creatures on a wild and beautiful planet.
We gather this morning from the east, where air animates life. We bring waters from east to us, from mountain falls and sandy beaches, from wide rivers and their convergences. From every place where our souls have been renewed, we bring these waters. And we bring the waters that remind us of torrential flooding and also all the good neighbors who helped us build back another way. May our gathering with the East bring us wisdom. And now I invite our youth.
Gather from the south, where heat energizes life. We bring waters from the south of us. The water stored in cacti and the warm Gulf, from rock bottoms of creeks and lazy lake days. From every place our souls have been awakened. We bring waters that remind us of the hottest ocean waters we've known in the Gulf, and of Mexican students fighting to preserve the forests that preserve our waterways. May our gathering ignite passion.
We gather from the west, where water refreshes life. We bring waters from the west of us, from ocean and river, lake and stream, from scarcity in deserts and abundance in mountains, from every place our souls have been refreshed. We bring waters from tropical storms where they've never been before, reminding us of wildfires and remembering parties in neighborhoods filling sandbags, connecting people in preparation and care. May our gathering of waters today awaken our intuition.
We gather from the north, where the earth cradles life. We bring waters from north of us, from cold rivers and vast lakes, from every place our souls have been invigorated. We bring waters that remind us of melting glaciers and pipelines threatening the health of our waterways, and of the indigenous water protectors fighting back across the world. May our gathering ground our hearts.
And beloveds, this morning we gather from our center, where our spirits lift us up. This morning we have brought water from our home, from the Salt River, the Verde River, from Lake Pleasant, from our sinks and our rain barrels, from every place where our souls have been nourished. This morning, we bring waters that also remind us of the extreme, intense heat we all have experienced this summer. And we remind ourselves of the water that our saguaros need to keep their structure, the water that our plant friends also need, the very water they need when they are oh so very thirsty, trying to sustain as much as they can. May our gathering make us whole, connected, and bound together in this sacred, holy community, so that together, all of us may find and attend to the survival of us all.
And now we pour our water from last year in with these waters, showing our continuity from one year to the next, connecting with the UUCP that we were last year and the year before, with hopes of the UUCP that we will be coming, and connecting us through all of the water communions of the past. We give thanks for the Reverend Molly Hausch-Gordon and her prophetic words that helped us with our intro this morning. I am the Reverend Christine Dance. It is a great honor to serve as your minister. This is our ministerial intern, Brigitta Vieyra, our Director of Children's Ministries, Katie Resendez, and our Music Director, Benji Messer. Join me as we recite the words of our covenant. And youth, I would ask if you have one more thing you could do. Do you mind lighting our chalice? I've got a candle right up there for you. Yes, beautiful, thank you. Join us in our words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for prayer is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, thus in fellowship, thus do we covenant.
Each week, we put our faith in action with generosity by splitting our offering with UUCP and a local organization that shares our values through our Share the Plate program. For September, our Share the Plate partner is UMAM New Day Centers. And this morning, we have a very special treat. Katie Noding and Colette Black are here from this wonderful organization to share a little bit more with us about what they do in our community.
Good morning, congregation. I'm Colette Black with UMOM. I want to thank you for an opportunity to speak to you all today. I want to thank Kathleen, Pastor Christine, and Brigitta. Did I get it right? Thank you so much for allowing us a moment to talk about UMOM. I bring greetings from my local church, Pilgrim Rest, and Pastor Mackey. So at UMOM, we believe that every person deserves the dignity of a safe and stable place to call home. We have a formula for ending homelessness. We believe it's jobs plus housing is what ends homelessness. And we're talking about livable wage jobs and affordable housing. So we work hand in hand with every person that we serve to solve that formula alongside them, from emergency shelter to affordable housing. UMOM provides a full slate of vital services that is rooted in a foundation of trust and proactive support. Who we serve is single women and families that are experiencing a housing crisis. At UMOM, we've been in this community for 60 years. We're celebrating our 60th anniversary next year. Every year we serve about 15,000 people. We serve over 500,000 hot, nutritious meals every day. And we have every night about 600 plus, almost 700 people living in our emergency shelter. More than 60%, 300, are children. We believe that no child should have to sleep in a vehicle. And I'm just reflecting on the water ceremony this morning and how essential water is if you're living on the streets, if you can't bathe. I want to share a brief story about one of the children of UMOM. Rose is her name. She's about 11 years old. She lived in her vehicle with her mom, her stepdad, and her older sister. They moved here from another location. They didn't know that the shelters were full. There's about an 8-week wait time, 200 families on our wait list. But Rose slept, her mom and dad slept in the front seat so that they could recline. They were in their vehicle. Her older sister slept across the back seat, and Rose slept in her trunk. And her dream was to actually have a place where she could sit at a dinner table, talk about her day with her family, and just dream about their future. So that's what UMOM does, is help restore hope, rebuild lives for the future. And what we really need is support in a financial way to reduce that wait list. 200 families, 8 weeks, children sleeping in cars is unacceptable. And we also are working upstream for what we call flexible funding, which is what comes from private individuals like you guys, to help us address people that maybe just need a plane ticket to an uncle's house where they can get on their feet, or maybe they just need a car repair so that they don't get ridden up at work and end up losing their job and becoming homeless. So I just want to thank you. God bless each one of you.
Thank you, Colette. For all that you give to our congregation and UMOM New Day Center, we are so grateful. And now I invite our ushers to come collect the offering.
For those of you who are new, we call this water communion, but it is not really communion. It is a ritual, but it is not always predictable. We change it as the seasons change here in Phoenix and adjust as the world calls us. Today, our water ritual is hyper-local, as in here in Phoenix, here in our yard, here in our garden. Thinking of water as close as possible to where we sit right now and spreading across the valley to the edges of Arizona. To help set the stage with visuals from our own Gary Ezell, we have a poem entitled Rain in the Desert by a Phoenix local poet, Roger Naylor, that describes the magic, sometimes rare, always powerful, of Arizona monsoons.
Let's face it, 4 seasons just aren't enough for Arizona. We need a fifth one, a special one full of drama, hope, and the promise of magic. We need a season with the power to transform our whole world. We need monsoon season. Rolling in on the heels of scorching summer days, monsoon season is far more ethereal than our traditional equinox-defined seasons. Of course, we all know that calendars mean nothing to monsoon. It operates on its own schedule, appearing haphazardly, often on in sudden bursts and breaks. Often it seems to occur everywhere except where we happen to be. But in those wonderful years, when it arrives in all its splendor, when it brings a deluge of rain to each corner of the state, everything seems right with the world. Yet rain is only a part of this complex weather festival. All the elements of monsoon storms are thrilling. They drop the temperature as chilled air swoops in and snatches away our summer sizzle. There's no better feeling than running around the house on an August afternoon and flinging open windows so that a cooling breeze can come in with a whoosh. For a few delicious minutes, the air feels sweet and juicy as tree-ripe peaches. Then we gaze toward the heavens. Monsoon storms unleash a cosmic opera of shadow and light. Half the sky goes black. It's like midnight showing up uninvited to brunch. An armada of seething dark clouds jostles for positions while sororos below are bathed in white sunshine. As the storm closes in, the light turns reckless and wild, and there's that moment of anticipation as we stand on porches wondering if the system will break apart and vanish, or if it will hold together long enough to deliver the goods. Then the sky quivers, and those first drops fall, sparse and scattered and as fat as cherries. That opening salvo is just a prelude, because soon a seam splits open and rain pours down in a frothy cascade. It comes fast and ferocious, a silver veil connecting land and sky in a long-awaited reunion. Harmony is restored. The storm may only last for minutes, or an hour, or it may continue long into the night. We celebrate whatever we can get. Life is granted an extension because of rain. Plants wiggle their little roots in glee. The cacti swell up. Seedlings and blossoms that have been on indefinite hold suddenly flourish. The desert turns almost instantly green, green enough to make leprechauns book an Arizona vacation. Yet most memorable of all is how it smells. If there's a more seductive perfume than rain-dawn desert, I don't know what it could be. It's a fragrance that means home to Arizonans. Those big wet drops kiss the Ocotillo, dance among sororo spines, and waters our vast herd of lizards. And while that's happening, the land releases a musky, earthy fragrance, all heartmeat and hyacinth. Some people will tell you it's simply the aroma of wet creosote, but it is so much more than that. It is angel breath. It is the scent of almost forgotten love. It is the juice of a billion stars, a flavor intoxicating, comforting, and evocative. When rain falls in the desert, you can feel the earth smile. For a while, we get to believe in miracles again. Anything seems possible. It has rained in the desert.
On this special Sunday, we still have joys and sorrows in our community. We celebrate coming together as a community, but we always know that we are collecting our individual joys and sorrows of our everyday lives. Like the water, we combine. Sharing our joys and sorrows in community can make them more bearable. Folks on Zoom, I invite you to enter any personal joys and sorrows. And if we can just all wave to our folks on Zoom, we have over 44 screens now, probably around 50 people on Zoom today. Hello to our beloveds online. Folks here in person, there are cards in the back that you can add. Let us take a deep breath and center ourselves. Each one of these joys and sorrows is an individual tributary, combining into the river of our collective emotions. Let us share. I have several joys here from Karen, Brian, and Megan Quinn. The joy is about Katie, our Katie. We are so proud of our daughter and sister Katie, who passed her honors degree in political science summa cum laude a year early. We are both sad and happy for her that she moved to the Netherlands on Wednesday to try to make a life in Europe. While we understand why she is leaving, it feels so far, and we love you, Katie, and send our blessings with you. From Stephen Limpert. Where's Stephen? Stephen here? There's Stephen back there. Joy is a new job. I started a new job this past Monday. I am grateful for all the friends and former colleagues who aided and supported me in my job search. Congratulations, and may this be a fulfilling job for you. A joy from Donna Talbot. Here's Donna. Donna says, glad to be back. Praying for 2 people in my house to find good jobs, and grateful for all of your prayers and good wishes during my recovery. The reward is seeing you, Donna, and that beautiful smile. Welcome back home. And then we have one from online from Amy Miskell. Joy, former UUCP member Mark Schmitz finished radiation for colon cancer this week. Congratulations to Mark. And we do have a sorrow from Chris Fallon. Chris is right there. Chris says, I have a sorrow that I was diagnosed with cancer. Joy that I have a great prognosis. I am surrounded by love at UUCP and everywhere. And Chris, we hope that you feel all of our love and healing energy coming to you as you go on this journey that you didn't want to go on. We are here with you. For all of the joys and sorrows of this community, those spoken and those held in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, we send our love. Let us send it to each other and to those online, remembering that we are one community connected. And now let us settle in for a time of prayer and meditation. Let's take some deep breaths. Whatever makes you feel connected. I like yoga breaths, sweeping up the energy of the universe. You may want to stretch, but I'm going to do 3 long breaths. Join me if you wish. Water makes its mark. It can carve out the Grand Canyon, and it can turn boulders into smooth, small pebbles. I'd like you to think about all of the ways that water impacts us in this meditation. Over the next several minutes, and as the choir starts to hum, I will be calling out a multitude of forms of water. I invite you to meditate on them all and to come up with even more of them in your minds. During this time, I also invite anyone who wishes to come up and put up a new color of fabric in our loom. We are marking all of our key ritual services in this loom as a way to create collective art and healing after the hurt from separations and challenges in this hurting world. Art unites us and brings us together. May our art be an act of resistance, of faith, and joy. Now settle in. Let us contemplate all the ways that water makes a mark in our lives. Drinking a glass of water. A single drop at a time, carving out a slot canyon eventually. Waves in the ocean. A burbling brook. The water table, layers of earth below us. Sweat droplets on a cold beverage. Flash floods that cannot be contained. Water that flows through us in our veins. Water stains where we left a glass on the table. Channels in the desert where the water has flowed and carved the land. The awakening of the creosote in a monsoon. The meditative feel of a long, hot shower. The water of the placenta, giving each of us life. The view of Earth's oceans from space. A solitary tear down a cheek. Water gathering in a reservoir. Water that magically, although we know it's not magic, that magically comes when we lift or turn the spigot on our tap. Water. Water leaves its mark. Water will have its way. Let us join in just a moment of silence as we think of the waters. You'll have plenty of time to continue to put things on the loom as we continue our water communion and share our waters. But I want to ask you a question. How many of you knew that we have a garden ministry? Anyone know we have a garden ministry? Yeah, we have a garden ministry. Well, that's what I call it. I don't know if they call it that. Vince Waldron and Marina Hoffman call it clearing out brush in our beautiful 8 acres of land here at UUCP. But it is done in the morning as a meditation. There have been people throughout the years who have joined. There have been stories that have been told during this time. It acts as both meditation and connection. But if acts of meditation and connection aren't ministry, I don't know what is. Before this summer got too intense, Vince and Marina decided that we should offer the gift of water to the creatures that live in and visit our little slice of desert, which is just right behind here in the sanctuary. And because he is immensely curious, Vince decided to put up a critter camera to see just who might come to visit. The range of visitors is surprising and personally to me, downright exhilarating. Honestly, I don't care if you listen to the rest of what I have to say because you're so transfixed by the beautiful creatures that have visited us over the last few months. They'd be here whether or not we offered them a drink or not, but I delight that we are able to nourish them. Especially this summer, which has had a record 32 straight days over 110 degrees and is on track to have more days over 110 than any year on record here in the Valley. Especially when that heat is deadly, with 194 people confirmed with hate-related deaths so far this year in Maricopa County alone, including a 9-year-old boy who died in a Mesa hospital after crossing the border with his family. Especially in a year when we've seen hurricanes in California, wildfires in Hawaii, and flooding in Vermont, all bizarre events that can feel foreboding of how climate change will continue to affect us in years to come. That's my favorite creature in the wild right there. That's our Marina. When all of this is happening in our world, we feel some solidarity with these creatures who just want a little break and a sip of water, because that's exactly what we need too. They become a symbol of resiliency, of the persistence of this amazing desert landscape that has so much alive in it against amazing odds. It feels like a downright act of hope that they can thrive in our place of worship, and then that we can care with them even in the smallest of ways. It feels fortunate just to be able to share this land with these creatures who are frolicking together, sharing the one thing that they all need, that they all can agree upon, and that unites them, the need for water. We just offered a sip of water, and yet it made all the difference. What are the multitude of ways that we can offer sips of water to the world? We can offer jugs of water to those crossing the desert And we can be in solidarity with those who are providing humanitarian aid, especially as they are being exponentially targeted right now. We can do little parts to help our climate and our environment, conserve water, recycle, compost, buy less plastic, drive more efficiently, vote for policy change. We can continue to volunteer and donate to you, Mom, to those affected, so affected by the heat and needing a sip of water. To those who are volunteering at our cooling centers this summer in the Valley. To support other partners in talent and treasure who are fighting oppression. We have guests that are going to be speaking after the service today. We hope that you will hear some of the radical ways that they are changing our world and offering sips of water in our healing, hurting world. We can buy organizers a pizza. What's your equivalent of a sip of water? Within our community, we can send a meal to our community members who are hurting. We can provide a smile and a conversation to our newcomers. Who's new here this morning? We've got a bunch of new folks this morning. Let's welcome them. There are so many ways we can provide a sip of water. We can check in on a friend. We can send a meal. We can give love. We all need water. And sometimes a sip of water can make all the difference. It gives us the energy to play, to work, to rest, and to connect. It unites us. And as we contemplate and give thanks for water, may we see it as a symbol of resilience, hope, and connection. May we find all the ways to give a sip of water to the world and know that it could make all of the difference. May it be so.
Here's a song about the monsoon. It's from our choir. It's by Mary Lou Prince with lyrics by her wife, Patty Willis. They've been a Unitarian Universalist minister, music director duo in Arizona for many years, and have written a lot of music about the desert, so hope you enjoy it.
Each dream and the sea.
And now it is time to bring our waters. From the east to receive wisdom. From the south to ignite our passion. From the west to awaken our intuition. And from the north to ground our hearts. And of course, from our very center to lift our spirits. Wherever your water may be from and whatever it represents to you today, this morning we are going to combine these drops together, bringing our individual experiences, our dreams and hurts into one collective pool, a pool of community and love. And now I invite Christine up again to pour some water. Oh, we don't have any more down there? We did it. You want to do that? That's hers. Never mind. Okay. This is a time to remind you that earlier we poured our water from last year into this ebb and flow of one congregational year into the next. Let us take a moment to center ourselves in a breath. Breathing in and back out. Settle into this sacred time of shared ritual. And in this sacred, holy pause of gathered community, you will share a sip of water with us. If you didn't bring water today, there is no need to worry. Our youth have sips of water for you in our aisles. And as you enter into our center ritual space, may you take a moment to slow down, to look around, and feel that sacred flow of giving and receiving refreshment together. And if you are inspired, you can also take a moment to weave some fabric into our beautiful ritual loom. Let us take one more breath together. Inhaling in and back out, centering ourselves in this time of ritual. May life spill into us as we spill into others. Let us begin.
So let's stand and sing together to close our service. This is the old African-American spiritual and anti-war song, Down by the Riverside. Like our opening hymn, it uses the image of baptism in water to symbolize a fresh start. And we'll start with Gonna Lay Down My Burden. Thank you all. Yeah, Earthman, here we go. I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna 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 study war no more. And my sword and shield are gonna lay down my sword and shield. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield. Down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna Gonna shake hands with everyone. Gonna shake hands with everyone. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Gonna shake hands with everyone. Down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna 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 study war
Oh, you all sound so good, so beautiful. Following our service, we have a whole bunch of things going on. We have coffee hour in our Johnson room. If you are new, it is just across the patio or down the hall that way. Children's and adult faith activities will start at noon, including a speaker here in our sanctuary about the Defend Atlanta Forest movement and their work opposing police violence. These are our guests here today. We hope you will join us. Because studying war no more looks like this today, right? We also have our rituals class, part 2, going to be happening in Annex B. And we have children's ministries, although it starts officially next week, we do have activities going on. And we have 2 children's ministry staff who are out sick today. So if there's anyone who could just help Katie with gathering children at noon, you can find Miss Katie right over there. We just need a couple of people that could help do that while we've got some folks out sick today. Or immediately following service, we invite Vince and his mom and Marina and Kathleen, who are going to take our waters and take them out to the watering station and literally feed and give sips of water to these critters who are sharing our space. So if you want to see it, maybe catch yourself a little bit on the critter cam, then please follow with Vince and Marina and their families. So may you offer a sip of water where you can. May you receive a sip of water when you need. May you know deeply that you are that sip of water for others. And may you know that the streams of community connect us all. Go in peace, go in love.